Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever gotten tripped up by one of the smallest, but, one of the most important rules in English? Well, today we're going to unlock a really simple secret that's going to make your English sound way more natural instantly. Let's just jump right in. It's a really good question, isn't it? I mean, it seems kind of strange that we have to add an S for just these few specific words. This tiny little letter trips up so many English learners, but I promise by the end of this, you're going to have it completely mastered. So here's our plan. We're going to start with what I call the magic S. Then we'll get into the special ES rule. After that, we'll untangle those kind of tricky Y verbs. And then we'll do a little practice together before I tell you all about your new English superpower. All right, first up, the magic S. This is the main rule, the big one. And honestly, it's probably way simpler than you think. Okay, so here's the secret. This whole rule only kicks in when you're talking about one other person or thing, a he, a she, or an it. That's it. For everyone else, I, you, we, they, the verb just stays the same. Simple, right? And you can see the pattern so clearly right here. I play, but he plays. I drink, but she drinks. We like, but it likes. It's just one little S. But trust me, getting this right is what makes your English sound so much more authentic. Okay, so you've got the basic roll down. Awesome. But what happens when adding just an S sounds, well, a little weird? English actually has a pretty simple fix for that. It's the special ES rule. This rule is really all about making the word easier to say out loud. If a verb ends with one of those hissing or buzzing sounds like s, ch, or x, we add ES. That actually creates a whole extra syllable. Think about it. Watches. Instead of trying to say watch, it just flows so much better. Just listen to how this works. I watch, but he watches. I mix, but she mixes. We pass, but it passes. Can you hear that extra little syllable in there? That ES is what makes it smooth and just so much easier to say. All right, for our last set of rules, let's talk about verbs that end with the letter Y. Now, this one can look a little intimidating at first, but it's really just two very simple patterns you need to remember. So here's rule number one. If the letter right before the Y is a consonant, and that's any letter that isn't A, E, I, O, or U, it's just a simple three-step trick. Let's take the word study. The letter before Y is D, right? So you just change that Y to an I and add ES. And boom, you get studies. Let's look at a few more so you can see it in action. A student studies. A machine carries. A baby cries. See, in every single one, there's a consonant right before the Y, so we just swap it out for ES. Once you see that pattern, it becomes super easy to spot. Now, for the second Y rule, and trust me, this one is so much easier. If the letter before the Y is a vowel, so one of our friends, A, E, I, O, or U, you can forget about changing anything at all. You just go right back to that original magic rule. Just add an S. Just look at the difference here. The word play has a vowel A right before the Y, so we just add an S to get plays. Same thing for enjoy. It becomes enjoys. And buy becomes buys. See, it all just comes down to checking that one little letter right before the Y. But there are some exceptions we need to remember. For the verbs do and go, we don't just add S. Instead, we add ES. So do becomes does, and go becomes goes. For example, he goes to school by bus. And Lisa does her homework. So you've learned all the rules. Now, the best way to really make them stick is to put them into action. I'm going to show you a few sentences. Try to say the answer out loud before I show it to you. You ready for this? Okay, first one. He watched birds in the garden. What do you think? Remember what that verb ends with. It's a ch sound. He watches. Yes, that's it. Because watch ends in ch, we need to add that es to make it flow nicely. Excellent job. Okay, let's try another one. He study math every evening. Now think about that tricky Y rule. What's the letter that comes right before the Y? He studies. Perfect. The verb study ends in a consonant, D, plus Y. So we change that Y to an I and add ES. You are really getting the hang of this. Okay, last one for practice. It carry heavy loads slowly. It's another Y verb. What's the pattern here? It carries. Fantastic. Just like with study, the verb carry has that consonant R right before the Y, so it becomes carries. Great work. You did it. You learned all the rules. You put them to the test. Now, you might be thinking, it's just one small letter. But I'm telling you, mastering this is a really big deal for your English fluency. So, why does this matter so much? Well, because getting this rule right is one of the fastest ways to make your spoken English just sound more natural. It's going to make your writing look more polished and correct too. It's a key piece of English grammar, and now you've totally got it. So congratulations, you now hold the secret of the magic S. Keep practicing, and I promise it'll become completely automatic for you. Now that you've got this down, let us know in the comments what's the next confusing piece of English grammar you want us to break down. Thanks so much for joining us.